You know, when you look at the early 1900s, the sales profession was actually trusted, respected, admired. It was taught at every university in the early 1900s. It was actually taught at high schools, like the Boston public high schools. In Pennsylvania, like Erie, Pennsylvania, had like a famous high school sales course. Why? Because there was demand for it, right? When there's demand, they supply it. In 1916, at the World Sales Congress in Detroit, Michigan, 3,000 salespeople from around the country got together. The keynote speaker was then President Woodrow Wilson. Like, imagine that about a conference today. It was a trusted, respected, and admired profession. Part of it was that I think that foundationally, authenticity reigned, meaning that every time you had to go sell something, you didn't have telephones, you didn't have email. You had to walk into somebody's office and look them eye to eye and be a human being and shake their hand and sit down. And you couldn't help but want to experience their outcomes with them and experience true empathy. That's why sales was trusted, because sales was viewed as a service profession back then. I'm a believer that the technologies that came out, like we say, we're in a technology revolution today, right? The technology filling every remaining crevice in the sales profession. Salespeople ruined it, right? That's not a good thing. If you look back, like this phone, for anybody that's watching and not listening, I have a phone in my office. It's a refurbished 1908 phone from the Swedish American company. I have it up there as a representation of when there was truly a tech revolution that took place. When Alexander Graham Bell invented the first telephone call, or made the first telephone call in 1876, by the 1910s, it had revolutionized outreach, right? And by the 1920s and 1930s, it became pervasive. And you know what also happened in the 1930s? Perception of sales started to go down, to where in the 1950s and 1960s, nobody wanted to be in sales. Companies would go to colleges to recruit college graduates, and the college graduates wouldn't even show up for interviews. They would have rather been unemployed than be in sales, and sales was not taught anywhere anymore. Why? Because technologies have caused us to lose our look into the eyes and hearts of the individuals that we sell to. We forgot that there's a human being on the other end of the phone, on the other end of the email, on the other end of the LinkedIn connection requests. And as a result, we started focusing on our own activities, our own numbers, and we lost that authentic, human, empathetic view for, hey, my role is to provide a service to you, and my goal is to help you achieve your outcomes, and maybe achieve outcomes you never thought were possible.